close your eyes. Let's drift back to a time when castles crowned the hills and candlelight flickered on stone walls. Tonight, we journey to medieval Europe, a world where knights rode in armor, kings ruled by divine right, and the very idea of cleanliness was something else entirely. This is the story of medieval hygiene, a tale of superstition, scent, and survival. Settle in and let history whisper you to sleep. In the heart of a medieval town, the air is thick, not with smog or smoke, but with a stew of human waste, animal droppings, rotting food, and open drains. Chamber pots are emptied right into the streets, often from second-floor windows. The sound of a splash below? Commonplace. A careless step? Catastrophic. The stench of these cities was not just an inconvenience, it was the background of daily life. This was a world without plumbing, without soap for most, and without the idea that filth could kill. You might think people would wash all this away with a nice hot bath, but no. In fact, bathing was feared. People believed that warm water opened the pores, and that sickness, lurking in the air, would seep inside. Public bathhouses did exist, but they were often more about socializing, or even scandal, than true cleanliness. Queen Isabella of Castile, one of the most powerful women of the 15th century, reportedly bathed only twice in her life. Twice. Instead of water, the nobility turned to perfume, rich, spicy fragrances masking the musk beneath velvet and lace. Why was filth so common and baths so rare? It all came down to what they believed caused disease. They didn't know about bacteria or viruses. Instead, they feared bad air, the miasma. Doctors wore long cloaks and terrifying beaked masks. The beaks were stuffed with herbs like lavender or clove, not to filter germs, but to mask the stink, because to them, stench was sickness. This misunderstanding would haunt Europe for centuries, especially when plague came knocking. In 1347, the Black Death arrived, carried by fleas, hiding on rats, drawn to the garbage-choked cities of Europe. The plague spread like wildfire. Entire villages vanished. Up to 60% of Europe's population, not even kings. Louis XIII of France wore wigs not for fashion, but to hide the lice on his shaved head. The wigs, of course, became infested too. And so emerged a profession, the nitpicker. People paid them to pick lice, one by one, from hair and clothing, an act of survival and a strange kind of intimacy. In monasteries, a different kind of hygiene took shape. Bathing was done rarely, but hands were washed before prayer. Cleanliness for monks was about the soul, not the skin. Meanwhile, in royal courts, decadence and decay walked hand in hand. King Henry VIII bathed only occasionally, but his linen shirts changed daily to absorb sweat and odors. Belief, status, tradition, all shaped how people faced dirt and disease. Hygiene was not just about health, it was a mirror of society. And yet, change was coming. Slowly, cities began building sewers. Soap, once rare, became more common. In some towns, fines were introduced for tossing waste into the streets. People began to see the link between cleanliness and survival. The seeds of modern hygiene had been planted in the dirtiest of soils. And from that mess sprouted understanding. Tonight, as you lie clean in a warm bed, in world of plumbing, soap, and science, remember this: the past was not just dirty, it was determined. In spite of superstition, through lice and plague and painful surgery, people endured, and step by step, they built the world we live in today. So, let this story settle into your dreams. The story of how humans crawled from grime to gleam, from stink to sanitation, and through it all, remained remarkably, beautifully human. Thank you for joining this journey through the shadows of the past into the light of understanding. Sleep well and dream of castles, candles, and a future built on lessons from long ago. Good night.